Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2024. Welcome to episode 48 of the Neofly series, and welcome back to NADZAB, and welcome back to the SimWorks Studio Kodiak 100. Except today, I think for the first time ever, I'm going to be actually flying the Kodiak with no cargo pod. It does actually look a little strange, but our other Kodiak with the cargo pod is back at Port Moresby. So this is the second Kodiak that we normally use for like skydiving stuff, but today it's kitted out with all of the seats. And as you can see behind us, the weather's not great. It's been raining non-stop with terrible visibility for the last like 3 days, and we have a bunch of passengers that need to get to a whole bunch of different places. So we kind of need to get some jobs running today. So our first stop is going to take us to Bowen, which is only I think it's about 16 nautical miles from here, so pretty close in the hills, basically in the direction where we're looking now. So we're going to see if we can maybe pick our way through some of these clouds and actually make it into Bowen. Now Bowen has a very, very short runway. It's about 730 feet, so that's going to be quite a challenge, especially if the visibility is not great. So I think I'm going to play it safe on that one, and if the weather's not good, if anything's not 100%, I think we will give it a miss. Right, but that is the plan for today's Neofly episode. We're going to see if we can do a bunch of jobs out of here. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of people that need to be moved around, but it's all going to depend on the weather. But anyway, let's jump aboard. Okay, let's start getting our Kodiak set up. So we'll turn on the master. Okay, beacon lights, nav light. Let's get that sorting itself out. We will come up here. Do all of these. Let's get that in. Okay, I'll set this to bypass. Okay, prop, condition, throttle. Those are off. Right, this goes to on, that goes to on, that goes to low. Condition to low idle.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Right, and then the prop can go full forward. Looks like a good start, so this can come on, these can come on, pitot heats will turn on. Okay, today's flight. Right, NADZAB is AYNZ. We will do runway 27, so winds 259 at 6, and then we're going to, oh, and there it is there actually, BWJ. I don't actually know which runway we'll be using there, to be honest, but I think it's probably this one. Okay, flight plan's in. Let's go flaps 1. Now we are actually quite aft on our CG. so we'll have a bit of nose forward trim. QNH today 1020. Let's dial that in, and then I think we are good to go. Okay, quick look at the weather. Still, it looks a little bit lighter than it was just now. There's still some low clouds scattered all over the place. Look at that low belt of clouds out there. It's not a great sign. Okay, runway 27 means we don't have to taxi forever. It is the closer runway, which is nice. Just stop here to do some checks before we take off. Okay, so as it turns out, I was looking at completely the wrong METAR. So we're QNH 1009, and winds are in fact 0 at 3. So very, very chilled. We'll still use the same runway, it's fine, the winds are so calm. Okay, flaps are set. We do need landing lights and strobes. That's all good. Bypass we can leave on for now. This is set. Ignition lever to full. Flaps. Do position 1, that should be fine. Right. Brakes released. Let's get out onto the runway. We'll do left-hand turn, I think. No, we can turn right. We should have enough space. Airspeed's alive. Power set. There's 60 knots.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
Flaps coming up. Birds. More birds. Sure, that was close. Okay, we're on our way. We need to make it in there somehow. Doesn't look good, does it? I mean, we're already coming up to this layer of cloud. I think I'm gonna fly along the edge of the mountains here and see if we can find a place where we can slip through the without going into the clouds. And in fact, maybe I should just head through this gap here that's in front of us now. So we can stay over the top of these clouds. See, we're not far, 5 minutes out. Right, we're above this layer, and I think the airport is gonna, or the airstrip is going to be above that layer as well, because they're sitting on that orange or yellow section. Which means we're not quite level with it yet. So I think that's a good sign, because it means the airstrip is going to be above that cloud layer. So we might actually have a chance of making it in here. So now we're getting a bit closer to being level with that airstrip. We start to level off here. Okay, so next task is going to be to actually spot the airstrip. Now I'm worried it's just sitting in this cloud layer. I think it's on this ridge here, and it's just in the clouds there. So I think it's down here somewhere. Can't go into that stuff. Is it on this ridge here? I've flown into this airstrip only once before. I think I went in with a helicopter actually. Could be on this ridge here. Definitely buildings and stuff down there. I just don't see the airstrip. Oh, is that it there? Next to those long buildings? I think it might be actually. Yes, there it is there. Oh, that is quite sketchy. It's just on the edge of the clouds. See, on this side though, I'd have to go into this stuff. I don't think it's gonna work. Those long buildings are a nice beacon. The runway is just to the right of that. So the runway's there. The runway is extremely short, so I need to nail it completely to be able to get it in safely. Just gonna rush the edge of these clouds here. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work. Look how high we are still, and we were already almost touching the clouds there. See there, I could almost make it in there. I just can't see the runway at all. Oh, birds. Yeah, we'd have to be much lower still. Yeah, we're gonna head back to Nadzab. We'll swap our passengers out. See where else we need to go. Fortunately, these guys will just have to wait a bit longer. See, the runway is there. It's just where it starts to open, but we have to come through this thick part to have any chance of seeing the runway early enough. Or getting down to an altitude where we can actually make the runway is just going to put us firmly in that belt of clouds. So particularly on this runway, I don't want to take any chances. Okay, let's see if we can go through this hole here. Make it back into Nadzab. Okay, let's bring the power back. Nice little gap that we can go through here. And I can actually see the airport already. We are going to be quite high because I needed to get to the point where I could drop through this gap. I could actually do, I think we'll do another airport in the Kodiak, but I suppose I could take the Alouette 3. We could probably make it into Bowen in the helicopter. I need to slow down here. That's my biggest concern right now. As soon as I can get some flaps out, that will help a lot. Yeah, flaps 10. Flaps 20 for landing.
500. 500. 500.
Birds are right there.
Nice landing, pilot. Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
Yeah, just gotta be careful with that to make sure I don't go too far and actually shut down the engine. Right, flaps can come up then. Yeah, strobe lights, landing lights off. So the weather actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but still just don't have the visibility to get in. So we'll pick up another set of passengers. Let's see if we can make it to where they want to go. Using a combination of beta thrust and the brakes just to manage the speed here. Yeah, once we're on the grass, we're not going to need the beta anymore. So I'll just flip that off. And I'm just going to swing it around here.
Count complete. Everyone is accounted for. Time to take off.
I'm not going to switch everything off. Let's see what jobs we can get. So I'm going to offload these passengers.
Transporter. Disembarkation in progress. Stand by.
It's the fuel pump. Let's just keep that off for now. Okay, so the next set of passengers need to go to Yawan, which is also kind of out in the same direction, but a little bit further other side of the mountain. So we have 9 passengers that want to head out there. It's 7 and 2.
Good day, pilot. We have a lot of excited passengers ready to board today. Let me know when you are ready for them. Transporter, boarding has started.
Okay, they're boarding. While they're doing that, let's change this. So we can just come in here and flip this one. Oops. Okay, Yawan is a YYW, so it's there. So we just try to get into this one. We've got to go over the mountain onto the other side.
From dispatch to transporter. Let's take these passengers to their destination.
Hopefully the weather's a bit better on that side.
The passengers are ready to board. I hope you have plenty of room. It looks like they have gone crazy at the duty-free shop.
Okay, there's Yawan. We'll put that in. Probably be the other runway because we're coming from the other side, but it doesn't really matter too much what we put in here. Okay, then we can prep. So this will go
You are clear to start
to
your engine.
on. Those stay off, that all stays off. That's good, that's good. Lights are good. Fuel tanks are still good, so that can go to low. Yeah, condition lever low.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
Very nice. Prop full forward. Flaps for takeoff. Okay, let's go see if we can make it into Yawan. Okay, we'll depart 27 again. That's all still good. But we can do landing lights and strobe lights. Ignition lever too high. Does feel a little bit brighter, but it still looks like we have cloud layers in pretty much the same place, so I never got to see that side of the mountain, so we'll check that out. There's some birds that we need to be aware of. SV's alive. There's 60 already.
Pilot from dispatch. Fly safe.
Don't sink, 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 don't sink.
Flaps coming up.
Sink, don't 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 sink.
Okay, you can stop now.
Don't sink.
It's fine. Let's turn this off.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
Wow, is that gonna just... okay. Right, let's climb out through this gap again. Head all the way up and over. It's not the end of the world if we go through the clouds a little bit here. We just need to climb basically as quickly as we can. Speed to do that is 109 knots. Okay, we're a little slow. We're probably gonna have to go up to like 13,000 feet here to get over this. Okay, autopilot's on. I don't know why the nose is dipping like that. Okay, climbing out at 110,800 feet a minute. Let's just clear that flashing. And we're just over 10 minutes out, but we'll speed up a bit once we gain some altitude, and then we don't have to climb as fast. is a flock of birds. Okay, runway at Yawan is about double the length of Bawan. Is that right? Is it called Bawan? Why do I feel like that's wrong now? I think it is. So 1,500 feet. 1,535 to be exact. It's at an altitude of 4,745 feet. And we're going to have to climb much higher than that to be able to get over the mountain. Yeah, I'm going to go vertical speed. And we can dial that down a little, which will allow us also to pick up a bit of speed. That's already down to 7.5 minutes. 10,000 feet already. As you can see on the terrain map, still a lot of red out there. There's Bawan off to our right. The clouds. Right, ITT is getting a little high. I keep that around 740. I suppose we could just join the GPS direct. That'll take us through that gap there, which means I don't have to climb over this. Right, there we are, leveling off at 13.5. And we should have plenty clearance to get over at this point. And then we're gonna have to drop like a brick because the airport is all the way down at 4,700 feet, but just on the other side of this ridge. We're only 3.5 minutes out. Okay, ditching the autopilot. Right, then we need to find the airstrip for Yawan down in front of us.
Transporter from dispatch. Your passengers asked to land in another airport. They are ready to pay more. Your plane, your choice. Check the log.
Okay, they want to go to... I don't know what airport it is. Well, I don't know what it's called, but it is this one here, AYSP. So they actually have decided they'd rather go there. So, because it's so close, let's check that out. We can get a bit more cash. And we should be able to get in there. If we can't, we'll come back to Yawan. Might as well see if we can spot Yawan while we're here. We're still going to be too high. So I would have had to circle around to the left here. Unless it's like on this ridge. It's down there on that ridge somewhere. This one is a little down the valley. So here's this part that sticks out. So it's other side that, but the clouds are quite thick there. The other one is down there. I can see the houses. Runway's back there somewhere. Okay, let's not fly it into a mountain while we're looking at scenery. Really say we're looking at scenery. I'm trying to find the airport. Or the airstrip, I should say. Right. When we come around this little peninsula thing. I think that's it there. That open patch. The question is, can we get through that rain? Start getting some flaps in. Yeah, the strip is below us now. is cloudy, but the visibility is not completely terrible. Now it's just a case of, can I spot the runway? Yes, I can. Okay, we're still very high. I thought this was rain, but it seems like it might just be more cloud. Oh, there is some rain there. You can see it on the windshield now. Full flaps. That tree.
Transporter from dispatch. It is a good choice for our finances. Go to the parking.
Not the softest touchdown I've ever made, but the trees made it quite interesting. Okay, let's get some of this off. Probably should have had this on, actually.
Transporter from dispatch. Passengers are super happy, and you get a super bonus. Well done.
That is interesting.
Transporter, boarding is complete. You can start your flight.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the ITT. No, I think we're okay. Right, where on earth are we? I don't know. Well, I don't actually know what it's called. It doesn't say. We can look on the GPS, I suppose.
Transporter, disembarkation in progress. Stand by.
Okay, so it is now a bit later in the afternoon, and as you can see, it has cleared up quite nicely, but we're going to be running out of daylight soon. So we have a bunch of passengers here as well that want to go back to Nadzab. So we are going to do exactly that. So let's jump aboard. And we can just get things up and running. And we'll get these passengers back to Nadzab and call it for today. Okay, beacon nav. Let's just sync these up. That's fine. Right, this should be in bypass. Stick that in. These can all be done as well. Okay. Pump ignition, low start.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
Right, prop can come full forward. Flaps 20 for takeoff. Okay, maybe we just come down here and do this, so we're at AYSP. Mango, and it doesn't really matter. We will be doing 3-4 though, I think. And we're going to AYNZ, back to Nadzab. AYNZ. Uh, 80 degrees, we'll do runway 9. Perfect. Right, that's done. Looks pretty clear. Might as well go high idle now anyway. Quite heavy. We've got 9 passengers on board, which it makes sense, kind of struggling up the hill here. Okay, everything looks good. Flaps, lights set. Let's get out of here. Right, power set. Airspeed's alive. We need to clear those trees.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink. Don't sink, 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 don't 500.
Okay, flaps 10. Alright, there's 100 knots. We'll go flaps up. Probably gonna have to stay in this valley for a little bit so we can climb. A little bit of cloud out there in front of us. Okay, let's do this. Lights are all fine, they can stay as is. Well, we can probably turn the landing lights off. Probably gonna have to climb all the way up to like 14,000 again to make it over here. Some rain underneath those clouds as well. Right, we're climbing nicely now, so we can start turning back. We're already over these clouds, I mean these hills here. A little bit of cloud back that way as well. Okay, so we're climbing at 1250. So let's put that on at 13. Heading hold. Okay, autopilot's on. See, our speed is bleeding off a little at 1300 feet a minute at this altitude. So what I will do is we'll go flight level change and just dial that into like 110 once we get a bit closer. I mean, we're basically at it now, so let's just go flight level change at 110. Oh, it's because I don't actually have an altitude set. Okay, let's go back to 13. Okay, keeping an eye on that ITT. The airport we took off from is down there. Right, and now we just need to climb up above these mountains. Okay, ITT again. Very nice. Coming up to 12,000. I've set 13.5, it should be enough. Heads up weather, wind 80 at 10, temperature of 31, QNH 1009, which is already set, and few clouds at 4,000 feet. So it seems like we should have no issues. Okay, this is an issue though. Start picking up some speed now. Okay, 8 minutes out from Nadzab, so once we clear this peak here, we can pretty much begin our descent, to be honest. let's maybe stick to the right a little bit here, just so we can stay out of those clouds. Right, we'll dial this down to about 2,000. So NADZAB is about 250 feet. So if we do 2,000 feet, we're just a bit more than 1,500 above the airport once we get there. Okay, let's go vertical speed. We'll just start a nice gradual descent here. I could probably do more than that, just looking at this bridge here. Let's sort out that rudder trim. It's better. Get rid of this flashing. And I'm probably going to need a significantly steeper descent. So let's go flight level change. 170 knots. Just gently bring that power back. Coming through 10,000. It's crazy. You climb all the way up just to get over that peak, and then we got it drop straight down again. Actually not too cloudy today. Pretty good. Although it was pouring with rain and all that earlier this morning, but now this afternoon, actually quite nice weather. Want to descend too quickly, because obviously we do have passengers on board. So just extend it out a bit there, and we can start heading back towards the runway now. Airport is just over there. Still feel like we're very high. Okay, let's get the prop back to full and we'll add a bit of drag. Right, let's ditch the autopilot. Just doing a bit of a slip here to try and bring that speed down, so I can keep descending quickly as well. I'm gonna get the flaps out. There's flaps 10. We have flaps 20 landing. So we don't need much more than that. Flaps 20. And we can let it roll out all the way to the end. Actually a little bit windy here.
From dispatch.
It's not
nice
good.
landing.
Oh.
Go to the parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
Touchdown quite a bit sooner than I thought I was going to. Misjudged how high we were. Yeah, let's get the flaps up. Taxi light on. I didn't actually turn on the landing lights. I am going to turn this on because we're going into the grass. Up there. Right, the other thing I can do, just try not to push this too far and shut it down. Yeah, that should be alright. strobe lights off. Okay, welcome back to Nadzab. It's not all that much daylight left, so I'm gonna call it for today.
Transporter, you can open the doors and begin the disembarkation.
Right, there we are. Okay, so safely back at Nadzab. So we'll see in the next episode what jobs we have available. See if we can maybe go into some of these bush airports again. Maybe we'll fly some cargo, do something a little bit bigger. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens then. But anyway, for now, that's going to bring us to the end of this video. As always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you do want to follow along, you know what to do down below. And hopefully I see you in the next one.